Hi, and welcome to the Rags to Rich show with myself, Terry Blackburn. So, happy New Year for the new listeners, anyway. I haven't done a solo podcast this year. This is the first one. So, welcome back. Hope we've had a great New Year, great Christmas break, and you're right on it for your goals in 2024. So, this episode is all about financial education and the benefit of having financial education, doing courses, doing masterminds, getting a mentor, all of that. Now, this subject is quite frowned upon by some. There's a lot of people online slating financial educators, and rightly so, because there's a lot, as we know. If you just look on Instagram, there's a lot that are saying they're a coach, saying they're a mentor, offering different things, but a lot of them aren't very credible, right? But there is some good ones, right? There is. Our coach, I'm getting massive results. I'm doing a mastermind with Mark Shaw, which is launching next week. And we've got some good content. There is some others that have got good content, but there's a lot that don't have good content, right? So if you're choosing somebody, whether it was me or anybody else, just make sure that they're credible, first of all. Check them out. Make sure you actually like their style of investing as well. Make sure, if you're wanting to do conversions, for example, and you get an investor who's done conversions. If you want to do flips, get a mentor that has done some flips, right? Don't be just going to someone because they've got a good social media. Go to someone who's actually done what you want to do, who is maybe where you want to be, or has surpassed where you currently are and achieve something that you want to go on to achieve, right? So that's the first thing. Make sure they're credible. Make sure you like them. You like the style. They may be similar to you if they've got kids, for example. Like, you can't be taking advice off someone who doesn't have kids and then how they invest and how they run their day-to-day life, because it's very different if you have kids, as we all know, if you've got kids listening to this. So you've got to consider that if someone's, got a busy life, they've got a family life, they've got a personal life, they're into fitness, all of these things, right, is their style of investing. It affects their style of investing. So you've got to consider that when you're choosing a mentor, because if you want to replicate someone's success, you can't go down the same track they've gone if their track is different. If that makes sense. So I've got 7 points that I think you need to be aware of when choosing a mentor, when getting some financial education, the benefits of it, things you really need to consider. So let's get cracking. The first thing that happens when you get a mentor, you do a course, you do some learning, some financial education, you will naturally avoid some mistakes that you would make if you weren't educated. So, for example, if you're doing a refurb, let's say, and you don't know what to do in a refurb, you maybe haven't done very many, or you haven't done one of that size. If you have someone you can lean on and you can speak to who's done that type of refurb, that size of refurb, that strategy of investing, then they are going to have some knowledge, some advice, some guidance, some tips, some tradesmen, some power teams, some contacts with planning. They walk the same road that you're going down. So why wouldn't you get someone and leverage their knowledge so that you avoid mistakes? Mistakes can be very costly, as we know. So if your mentor costs you a few grand, but you can save 10 grand in mistakes, that's an investment that I think anybody would do. So that's a massive one, that you will reduce the amount of mistakes that you make in your investment journey by having a mentor, being educated and knowing what you're doing effectively. You couldn't just, if you've never drove a car before, you don't have a clue what to do. You couldn't get in a manual car and drive from Newcastle to London very well, could you? The reason for that is because you haven't learned how to drive. Investing is no different. You've got to learn how to invest. And because investing is so broad, it's so varied, you need to leverage people's knowledge and learn new skills and new things in order to reduce the mistakes that you're going to make. If you think you can do it on your own and you want to be like John Rambo and go alone and go solo, then that's your call. For me, that's not a wise decision. You will make more mistakes. It'll probably cost you more. It'll probably take you longer to get to where you want to be. So for me, it's a no-brainer to get financially educated, and reducing mistakes is point one. Is a massive, massive point. Highly recommend financial education just on this point alone, but I've got another 6. So you're going to reduce mistakes, definitely, because there's always somebody who's done what you want to do, who has been where you currently are, and who is in the destination where you want to get to. Excuse me. That's always there, right? So that's the first one, reduce mistakes. Second one is another really, really huge benefit actually of being financially educated, which is reduce the amount of capital that you need to invest. So, for example, we've already kind of talked about one of those points which ties into mistakes is you will reduce the amount of capital if you're reducing the amount of mistakes. So, if you can save £5 on a refurb by getting some guidance on how to do it properly and efficiently, that's a huge saving. A lot of the time, that saving is worth a lot more than what it costs to get educated. There might be a way of purchasing a property that you currently don't know, lease options, little to no money down deals, assisted sales. Some of these strategies don't require the typical 25% deposit, 75% bank debt, then the refurb cost and all of that. Like, there is ways to do it. There's JVing with builders, there's JVing with people, there's raising money. Learning how to do that will in turn reduce the amount of capital that you have to put in from your personal savings and your personal money by getting educated and learning how to use angel money, how to do refurbs properly, how to do creative strategies that require little to no money down or low money down. Right, this is again, it's a massive one. It will get you to where you want to be quicker, but also there's a reduction in the capital that you need for some purchases, but there's also more profit, so you'll make more money in certain deals if you structure them in a certain way. For example, if you're looking at certain social housing deals at the moment, they are higher cash flowing than if you rent it to one family, and it's a long lease, and you've got no maintenance, no management fees from your letting agent. There's ways to do stuff. There's, if you're looking at carving up a building, you might be able to get more units out of that building if you get guidance and educated on how to do them properly and how to maximize profit. Again, it's a massive point. We're all in investing to make money, right? We're not doing it for just for the fun of it, right? You might still have fun doing it, you might enjoy it, but like, we're in this game to make money, right? So that is a massive one. Reduce capital needed for deals and increase profit. The third point is peace of mind. So, have you ever been there where you see a deal and it's maybe something you've never done before? It's maybe bigger than any deal you've done before. Or maybe if you're starting off, you're just not 100% certain on how to do a certain strategy, right? If you can lean on a mentor or learn how to do things properly, it gives you peace of mind. If you can ring someone up or have a session with your mentor and he or she will tell you, right, well, that's a good deal. You run the deal past them and say, that's a good deal for this reason or that reason. You shouldn't do that for this reason, or you should maybe pull out of this deal. Like, it's giving you peace of mind that you're either doing the right thing or you need to not go ahead with that deal. Peace of mind's a massive thing. Some people really overthink stuff, and peace of mind just gives you that comfort that you actually are on the right track and you're doing the right thing, or you should pursue a deal, or you should pull out of a deal. You need peace of mind, you need certainty, and you need some sort of guidance and reassurance, I suppose, which you will get from the right financial education and you'll get from the right mentor. There's advice on specific deals kind of ties into that as well, which is point 4. Advice on a deal. If you can run a deal, run all the numbers past somebody, a lot of the time, certainly in my experience, people have ran deals past me and I've said, well, have you considered that? Well, what about this? Well, have you looked at planning? Are you aware that you need building regs for this? Are you aware that it's in Article 4? Are you aware that, flips in this area you might struggle? Are you aware that holder-let occupancy in that area might not work? All of that type of advicey stuff that you might not be aware of, you can fast track and you can skip the mistakes. You can reduce the amount of capital, or you can even pull out of a deal. As we all know, if you buy a deal that was maybe a deal that you shouldn't have bought, it could cost you 50 grand, it could cost you 100 grand, it could cost you even more, depending upon the size of the deal. So peace of mind is a real good thing, but it ties in with the other points as well. But peace of mind you will definitely get from being educated, guided, and being mentored. A big one, because anyone who's been in property a decent amount of time will know this, that things change in property. There's a lot of new trends. There's a lot of regulation that changes on a regular basis. The regulation in areas, the regulation around certain strategies, the PD stuff that's came out. Just recently, we've had LHA rates have changed. There's the council tax situation on HMOs, whether they're going to do it per room or per unit. There's all of those changes. There's Article 4, there's planning changes. There's changes on tax. There's loads of changes in regulation that happens all of the time. Now, imagine if you're not up to speed with that and you think, right, well, this area works or this strategy works in this area. You're not aware of a current regulation change and you go ahead with that deal and then subsequently find out once you paid your deposit, you've completed on the property that you can't do that strategy for whatever reason or another. That's again a costly mistake. You know, you can avoid that by being financially educated and being sharp and being on top of the changes, the trends, and the new regulations that kick in quite regularly. Property is very diverse and it changes all of the time. If you want to be a professional property investor and you want to make some big waves in this game, you want to make a lot of money, you need to be sharp on this type of stuff. New trends and new regulations, definitely. Which is why financial education isn't just a you do some and then that's it. You get educated and then you're done for life. That's not how it works. I've got two mentors now, right, at the level that I'm at, and I know people who are doing more than me, and they've got mentors as well. So you need to keep on top of it if you really want to take this serious. And you really want to do some big stuff, you need to keep on top of it, whether that's a mentor, whether that's reading, whether that's courses, masterminds, whatever. You need to keep sharp, okay? Networking is another big point on this. So when you do a course, when you do a seminar, whether you do a mastermind, you're getting coached as a group, maybe, like you will mix in increase the value of your network by mixing with other people in the same boat as you. You might get a joint venture, you might start to raise money, you might learn something from someone else in the group, because people have all got loads of experience in different fields, in different areas, different locations, etc. So joining a group, a network, a community, or whatever, you will be able to leverage that and you will learn a lot from that. And again, it ties in with everything we've mentioned. Avoiding mistakes, reducing capital, increasing profit, peace of mind, all of that helps when you do courses and masterminds. I'm doing courses and masterminds now, and I've got two mentors now, and I will continue to do that for a long period of time because I'm always wanting to learn and get better and keep sharp. Okay. And the last point is quite a big one, and I truly feel when I learn something new, so if I do a course or I read a book or listen to a podcast like this, if I learn something new, right, I feel really good because I feel that like I am upskilling myself and I am progressing in my career. Tony Robbins says there's the progression equals happiness. So we all want to feel happy, right? And it is a good feeling. You feel happy when you have learned something new. If you do a deal that really works well, it goes to plan, you make a load of money, you feel good, right? Because you're progressing and you've got the result that you want. Having a mentor, getting educated, doing courses, whatever, will give you that feeling of progression. It will upskill you in your career and your life. No, this isn't just about money, progression in all areas of your life makes you feel good. So to summarize all of those points, I think that financial education is an absolute must for anybody, unless you're sitting on tens of millions. And even if you're sitting on tens of millions, you might want to get mentored by someone who's got hundreds of millions, right? There's a space and there's a place for being financially educated. Everyone should be doing it, and you should be learning from people who you look up to, people who you like, people who've done what you want to do and who've been where you currently are, and maybe they're in a place where you want to get to. You want to replicate or achieve the same level of success that they have. And that's financial education. It's really important to do. Highly recommended. If you're listening to this and you haven't been financially educated and you want to be in property, then you need to get on it. You're missing a trick. Potentially going to increase mistakes, increase the amount of capital that you need, decrease profit, reduce your net worth, have lack of peace of mind or less peace of mind, and less progression. It's a no-brainer. Don't just take notes, take action.